Do you also have to like record it? Is it being recorded too, or?
Yeah, it's just about to start. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you're good now.
perfect. All right, so I'll call this meeting to order. We acknowledge that the Wilfrid Laurier Students' Union operates on the traditional territory of the Neutral Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee people. All right. So I did receive regrets from Executive Director Champagne, Director Bunket, and Director Espiritu. I didn't hear anything from Director Rubinoff or Director St. George, so they'll be marked as absent. Does anyone have any conflicts of interest to declare? Right. Moving on to the adoption of the agenda. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda as presented? Motion by Director Russolo, seconded by Director Tariq. Um, is there any discussion on the matter? No? All right, we'll move into voting. So all those opposed, all those in favor, or sorry, scratch that. All those opposed, all those abstaining, all those in favor. All right, vote passes 0-0 to 8. Perfect. All right, and then moving on to the adoption of the consent agenda. Yeah, and as Ian explained, so this consent agenda has like the monitoring reports that Ben and I completed. So if you guys have any questions about those, you can feel free to ask me them whenever in the meeting. But yeah, so that's what those ones are. All right, so can I get a motion to adopt the consent agenda? Do I have to say what is in the consent agenda or just consent agenda? Okay. All right, can I get a motion to adopt the consent agenda? Motioned by Vice Chair Habit Michael and seconded by Director Godse Shaw. All right, any discussion on the matter? No. All right, so we'll move into voting. All those opposed, or sorry, Director Habit Michael or Vice Chair Habit, no, you're good, okay. All right, moving to voting. All those opposed, all those abstaining, all those in favor. Right. Director Tariq, do you vote? Maybe. Perfect. Thank you. 0-0 to 8. All right. Moving on to comments from myself. Um, I just wanted to say thank you guys for coming out tonight. Um, Also, if you guys could please RSVP to the meeting invites for the one in August, just so we can get like some numbers on who's going to show up. Because tonight we just made quorum, so if we don't make quorum, then we're gonna have to cancel the meeting, and that wouldn't be great. So if you could just RSVP to the calendar invite, you don't need to send me an email or anything. You can just say yes. Um, yeah. Okay. Also, directors on the the ownership linkage committee. I sent out an email, and I got some responses. We have 6 people who filled out the when to meet poll. I'm still missing Director Rubinoff didn't fill it out, and then Director Russolo, you didn't fill it out either. Right now, it's kind of like mixed times, with people who can like show up. So it's looking like it's going to be the Wednesday or the Thursday. Um, Director Teddy, you said you're not available the Wednesday until 7:45. Is there any way you can meet a little bit earlier, or are you completely?
I do have class.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's no problem. All right. So I think we're just gonna have to do it like either the Wednesday or Thursday at 7:45. Unfortunately, Natalie can't make it past then, but yeah, it's just like tough because someone's not gonna be able to show up. Um,
Wednesday we could do it a little bit earlier. Like how early did you want to push it? I think
Whatever. Sorry, one sec. Director Solar, are you available Wednesday the 17th?
Unfortunately, I'm not. I'm out of town that week.
Oh, okay. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay, so Wednesday then, like whenever you can start it, whenever you are available, Director Tariq, whenever you want to. Yep, Director
that's fine.
Leaka.
7 o'clock is fine.
Yeah,
Okay,
anything after like 5:30 is fine for me on the Wednesday. I just work until 5.
okay. Yeah, I saw that you filled, you're good until, you're good, starting at 6.
Yes.
Saw that. All right, so Director Teddy, you're okay starting at 7? Is that fine? All right, thank you. We can start like a little bit later if you want, just like I don't want you to like have to rush like from class or whatever.
No, I think 7 is okay.
All right, sounds good. Perfect. And Dr. Rusolo will like make up a report for it too, so it's fine if you miss it.
Thank
All right, so 7 o'clock on the Wednesday, perfect. Thank you. And I'll send out a Zoom link for the members of that. All right. Yeah, and also in the agenda package, there's a briefing note about the electric vehicle charge. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. I just wanted to bring it up in case anyone had any questions about it. I know it was brought up last meeting. But if it's all good, yeah, that's it for me. We can move on to the comments from the president and CEO. Yep, Vice Chair Habib Michael.
Hello.
Hi.
So I actually had a question in regards to the electrical charging
Yeah.
stations. So to my understanding, it's like $1.50 for an hour for max like 4 hours, right? I don't know. Is there any way that why is it just 4 hours? That's my question. Is it
Like, why is there a max 4 hours
yeah,
charge?
why is it max like 4 hours? Can we go like I know
So
some people do it longer than that, which is why I was wondering.
Yeah, I think like due to how many spots there are, since there isn't that many spots, especially on Brantford's campus, I think there's only like I think like Waterloo has like, sorry, Dr. Teddy, what did you say?
There are 3 spots in Brantford.
Okay, 3, yeah. So just due to like the shortage of spots that there are, they didn't want people to like park in them for over 4 hours just so everyone can use them. And then they implemented the charge because people were parking there for too long. So it's kind of like an incentive for people to move their car. So they stopped getting charged. That's the reason for the charge. And then yeah, the short amount of time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I
Dr.
was very curious about that. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. Thanks for the question.
I had a question as well. So I saw that it says it's starting in the 2024-2025 school year. So I'm assuming it's gonna start in fall, right?
Yeah, Ben can.
I believe that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then the price is also set in stone. There's no
I don't think it's like totally written in stone. That's what they're going with for the year. I wouldn't expect to see any wild changes. I'm sure that team will reevaluate things just come the end of next year and it could change from there. But it's our understanding that's the plan for the upcoming academic year.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think they're trying to keep it like consistent with rates in the region, so they're not going to go too much different than like what's already in place for people. Right. Yeah, does anyone else have any questions about that or anything else? No. All right, so we can move on to comments from the president and CEO.
Awesome. Nice to see everybody. So Phil's away on vacation this week, so I have his updates as well, kind of built into mine. So apologies, might be a little long because I'm going to try to run through the bars, and then happy to answer questions at the end. But like Chair Russo said, that parking brief is in the agenda package. If folks have more questions later on, feel free to reach out. Happy to answer them. Big focus for the operations team recently has been on the annual planning stuff. That's just about wrapped up, but I'll touch on that a little bit later when we get to the annual plan part of the agenda. Another big focus for us recently has been on some of the operational policies and procedures that Ian briefly mentioned in the board training today, getting those up to date for the upcoming year and getting them in line with some of the board policies to make sure we are compliant with everything on that front. Waterloo icebreaker hiring has been a big project for a lot of us recently, working really closely with our volunteer operations team, program and services folks on the Waterloo campus and marketing. Those numbers were a little low. They're looking healthier now, but still looking for any help we can get. So if you folks know anyone who might be interested, please send them our way. On the programming and services front, our VPs, Shyok and Matilda in that department are officially moving forward with a rebrand and relaunch of our Safe Walk program. So some of you folks might know that as Foot Patrol. As of September, we're going to fully rebrand that to Hawk Walk. A couple factors went into the decision making. A big reason behind it was some of the connotations around the word patrol and how that can impact and feel to some of our minority students on campus. So excited about those changes. That's been communicated out to campus partners as well. The response has been awesome. on the programming services side of things, again, orientation planning is really underway, just about kind of wrapped up. A lot of the talent's booked, so really excited to get ready for September and welcome all the new students to campus. On my side of the house, a lot of student affairs hiring stuff's coming up, some candidate meet and greets for some new leaders in student affairs, and then a couple of hiring panels that myself and our VP volunteer operations, Sarah, are sitting on. So excited to meet some new folks joining the student affairs realm. We also have some upcoming meetings with senior leadership at the university, kind of some onboarding stuff to acquaint them with the Students' Union. So the new dean of the Lazaretus School is coming up next week, the new registrar in a couple weeks, and the new AVP of EDI. So excited to meet those folks and start off the relationship with them. We've also been working with our director of member services, Kelly, to update some stuff on the health and dental plan, to update those offerings. So increasing some benefits for students while keeping the plan viable, obviously, from the finance side of things. I know we mentioned the student affairs external review at the last meeting. So we're still waiting on the final report for that. It got postponed a little bit because the reviewers got a little tied up with some other work, but hoping to have that by the end of the month to start some conversations with the president's office as well as student affairs leadership to kind of figure out what the future of student affairs looks like at Laurier. Some final notes. So our operating procedures agreement renegotiations have seemed to start back up. There's a new point person running that from the university side of things in the facility and asset management area. So that came out of a conversation we had with Laurier's VP Finance, but that is something coming up on Phil's plate. And then, as Ian mentioned, we do our audit every year. So that audit's starting off in August. So the auditors will be on site then with a report, hopefully, to you folks at some point in the fall term. And then last thing for me is I am on vacation a little bit over the next few months. So a couple days here and there in August and July. So that being said, I will be away for the August board meeting, but Sarah, our VP volunteer ops, will be acting president while I'm gone. So she'll be here for that one, which is why she's here today as well. So if you need anything while I'm off, she's happy to help you. And in the meantime, I'm your go-to. So that's pretty much it. I also recognize that was word vomit. So if folks have any questions, happy to take them.
Perfect. Yeah, all that sounds great. And thank you, Sarah, for joining us. We'll see you in the August meeting as well. Does anyone have any questions for Ben? About anything, even about the report in the agenda package as well? If you guys have any questions. I just have so the Hawk Walk, is that for both campuses? Okay.
Yeah, those
Perfect. And then I saw that there's a point in there about the Wilfs drawings, waiting to get them back. Do you know the timeline for those?
I don't off the top of my head. I know Tony, who's our director of strategic initiatives, has been working with facilities on that. We gave the green light to go ahead with getting the final drawings, I want to say a few weeks back, and there's some rolling vacations at the university, as there always are in the summer, so things might be a little slower than usual. But I believe the hope's to have them by the fall term, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds fine. All right. So yeah, I guess you did Phil's updates as well.
Tried my best to. If Ian has
Okay.
any, he can totally jump in, but
All right. And then oh, hi Griffin. All right. So does anyone else have any questions, comments, questions? Did you want to talk about the annual plan, or did you kind of already touch on that? Was that?
yeah, no, I can totally dive into that now.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so as you folks might have seen in the agenda package, we kind of provided with an executive summary of the annual plan for the year. So that went over kind of the high level themes that me and the VP team have built out along with Phil and his team. And then the appendices there are kind of full on breakdowns of the projects that me and the VPs have outlined for the year, connecting them back to the ends and the guiding principles and stuff. If folks have questions about any specific projects that were listed out there, happy to answer them, but feels like a lot to go through those one by one. So I'll leave that to you folks. For the themes, the things that we've kind of built out as our priorities for the year is focusing on campus community, providing opportunities to learn and grow for students, and then improving access to programs, resources, and supports that we offer. So on the campus community front, really what we're focused on is kind of creating that sense of belonging on campus, making Laurier feel like home for our students, and enabling students to find their people, recognizing that we need to create unique spaces for various and diverse communities on campus, and provide opportunity for folks to meet each other. I think that's been a priority for a lot of us post-pandemic. So that's something that I know a lot of the VPs are looking forward to working on throughout the year. On the kind of providing opportunities front, a lot of that work is going to go into providing a lot of autonomy and meaningful work for our volunteers. I know Sarah will agree with me when I say that they are really the base of everything we do at the Students' Union. So making that experience as great as we can for them. Preparing students for life beyond Laurier and life outside of the classroom. Really, it's about setting students up for success and developing them as a holistic person, not just an academic. And then the last thing we're focusing on is that access to programs, resources, and supports. So a lot of that is rooted in ensuring equitable access for all of our students. Part of that goes back to centralizing information about all of those things. So working with our marketing team to figure out what that can look like throughout the year and figuring out what different types of students need. So if you folks ever hear anything that we might not be hitting on exactly currently, feel free to bring that up. I know we're always looking for new perspectives and new ideas. So, and that will tie into some education campaigns that we're looking at doing throughout the year in our programming and services space, as well as our government stakeholder relations team. And then a lot of work with our campus partners that I know we've talked about a lot, whether it's in student affairs and the academic side of the house or beyond. It's a team effort to support students on this campus. So working closely with our institutional partners on that. High level, that's really what we're focused on for the year. If folks have questions about any of the individual projects, whether that be mine or any of the VPs, happy to answer them. But that's where we're hopefully taking things for the next 10 months.
Great. Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, the plan and the report that you submitted looks good. Very detailed, so it's good to get a good sense of what you guys are doing.
And if folks have questions about it throughout the year, always feel free to ask.
Yeah, perfect. Does anyone have any questions now about that? Nope. Okay. So we can move on to an update on the board secretary process. So we are in the process of hiring the secretary, and the application is closed for that. We received, I think, 12 or 13 applicants for that position. And Ian, have they started the interviews yet, or what's?
No, there are interview questions drawn up. We're just in the queue to get the one-way interviews sent out to the candidates. So hopefully those will be being organized is in the coming days.
Perfect. Right. Yeah, so they should probably be hired maybe by the next meeting, definitely by the fall, for sure. All right, we can move on to the direct inspection committee reports. So as you can see in the agenda package, so it was myself, Director Laheka, and then Director Godse Shah. And we reviewed the two policies. It was GP number 1, global governance process, and then BMD number 2B, accountability of the president. And yeah, we didn't make any changes. We still felt that the policy reflects the board's mandate and is still up to date with how we want the procedures and policies to be. And yeah, the meeting was pretty quick. It only took about 30 minutes because both policies were pretty short. So yeah, in our report, we made no recommendations. We just said that it's good to go. I don't know if we need to vote or accept the report or.
Yeah, just a motion to accept the reports.
All right. So can I get a motion to accept the report? Can the members of the committee vote as well? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so a motion to accept the direct inspection committee reports as presented. Motion by Director Tariq, seconded by Director Ejam. All right, is there any discussion, or do you guys have any questions about those reports or the report, the actual policies or the reports that we did? No? All right. So all right, so motion. All right, so now we can vote. So is there anyone opposed? All those abstaining, and then all those in favor. Right. Vote passes 0 to 9. Perfect. Yeah, I think we have 9 right now. Yeah, perfect. All right. Moving on to strategic governance and education presentation opportunities. So last meeting we talked about just thinking of ideas for presentations you guys wanted and people you wanted to come to the board meetings. And then Phil also sent me a list of some of his ideas as well. So I think right now we should vote on a couple presentations, one for the August board meeting and then one for the start of fall, either one in September or early October meetings. Do you guys have any ideas that you want, or do you want me to read off the ones that I have here and then you can like put ideas? Okay, I can just go. So, last year we had the special constables come to the meeting and they talked about campus safety. And I know we had a couple boothing opportunities to talk to students about campus safety. So I think it'd be interesting to see how they're going to address those concerns and what their plan is for the school year coming up. So we could bring them in to talk to us about that. Another idea could be the dean of students, Adam Lawrence, and he could talk about like student wellness and like housing, how the housing situation is looking for the upcoming school year. And then also the director of equity that Ben just mentioned is getting hired soon, or is already hired. I think he's meeting them soon. We could invite them to the September or October meeting because they actually do a survey that gets sent out to students about diversity, and then they could kind of touch on that a little bit. So what do you guys think? Do you want to, yep, Director Nike Satra?
Are we able to get maybe some alumni representatives as well? I know that this can be either like alumni themselves, or I know we have like an alumni hall on campus as well, so maybe someone from there.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want like board of director alumni or just student alumni?
I think just student alumni, just to get,
Okay.
kind of their perspective.
Yeah, for sure. Would you want that in the summer, or did you want like maybe we could plan that for the fall?
Yeah, I'd say fall is probably better for that
Yeah,
one.
for sure. Yeah. I can make a note of that, and then we can vote on like bringing them in the fall term, and then I can like send out some emails and get people. That's a good idea. So you want to kind of do like an alumni panel almost? Like have a couple different alumni?
Yeah, if we could do that, that'd be better than one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. All right. Vice Chair Habit Michael.
Hello. So I think we'll, sorry about that. Word vomit here. I think Milton is like opening this fall, right? Like the Milton campus.
Yeah.
So can we have like someone to speak to us from the Milton campus? Maybe like how they expect us to be able to involve them and engage with them as well. Are we having like a representative that's going to be voted in to represent like the Milton campus? Like, I don't think we have as much details on that.
Yeah, for sure. I know, I'm not too sure of like who's working on the Milton campus, but I know the Dean of Students, Adam Lawrence, has some information on that. Ben, did you want to?
Yeah, I can touch on the Milton stuff quickly if you folks are interested. We've been doing some work to prep for the Milton campus. Jason Verhoeven, our director of student experience, has been doing some planning on Milton orientation and that front. Health and dental will be running on that campus, and they'll have access to the Students' Right Advisory Committee through the Government Stakeholder Relations team. I think you touched on this, but as of now, Milton students won't be formal members of the Students' Union in the fall. That has to do with our current governance processes. So any campus with official members of the Students' Union is guaranteed 2 seats on our board. So we obviously have our 2 Brantford directors this year. Given the amount of students joining the Milton campus in the fall, I believe they're looking at about 100. It wouldn't be super realistic for us to have 2 directors sitting on our board as of September, given the student population. So that's something that I'm working on largely from our side of things. We are starting up I'm gonna forget the name, but it's like Milton Student Leadership Council. So the Office of Student Affairs is running that directly, but they'll have a direct line in with me, and I'll meet with their chair every once in a while to get a pulse on kind of what's going on in Milton. But Adam Lawrence and his team are largely the points of contact there, so he could speak to it if you folks are interested.
Yeah, that sounds good. Director or Vice Chair Habit Michael.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for answering that, Ben. I just have another extra question to that. So are we having like another department within the SU that's going to be solely based on Milton? So like the way we have like AVP or something, Brantford and Waterloo, are we doing the same thing for Milton? Or are they going to be lumped in under like the Brantford department or Waterloo?
So as of now, we won't have any formal Milton staff members, just given the number of students, it's not realistic for us to set up kind of permanent operations on the Milton campus. That being said, myself, Phil, some of our multi-campus staff members will be working and kind of working with student affairs largely on what's going on the Milton campus. It'll be supported by a lot of our multi-campus staff. So I'll kind of be a primary contact, and then Brody, our VP Government Stakeholder Relations, will be overseeing some stuff on the Student Right Advisory Committee side for that campus. So yeah, no permanent staff, but they'll be supported by our multi-campus staff indirectly.
So yeah, if you wanted more information on that, we could invite Adam to our next board meeting, to discuss Milton, discuss housing, student wellness, if that's something you guys are interested in. He could kind of like do like a whole array of ideas and like concerns that are important to students. Yeah, what do you guys think? Okay. All right. Okay. So we could invite him to come out to our August meeting. I'll do a motion for that in a second. All right. And then for like a September meeting, is there anyone you guys wanted to come out besides like the alumni panel? We could have that a little bit later. And then we can have the AVP, Director of Equity, come out in October. Is there anyone else you guys want in the fall, like September, October months? Speak to you. No? All right. Perfect. All right. Well, I think this is good then. We'll invite Adam to the next one. And then we'll do the Director of Equity and the alumni panel in the early fall. And we can we'll motion to invite those ones in the fall a little bit later. But for right now, I guess, can I get a motion to invite the Dean of Students, Adam Lawrence, to our August meeting? Motion by Director Laheka, seconded by Director Nakishatra. Thank you, guys. All right, is there any discussion on the matter? No. All right. Move into voting. All those opposed? All those abstaining? All those in favor? Right. Vice Chair Habit Michael, perfect. All right, vote passes 0-0 to 9. So I'll email Adam and then we'll get that presentation organized. Hopefully he's available. All right. All right, and then we can move into, I think it's the in-camera now. Yeah. All right, so we can move into the in-camera. Sorry, yeah, Ben, did you have a question?
Kind of a point on the in-camera thing. So since I'm going to be away at the August meeting and might be away at some other ones throughout the year where there might be an in-camera session, Sarah's going to fill in for me at those as well. So we were hoping to include her in the in-camera session today as well, if you folks are comfortable with that. So I just think that has to be tacked onto the motion. So wanted to flag it.
Yeah, that's fine with me. If anyone has any objections to it, then. Nope. All right. And Ian, we don't have to include you in it. Do like the.
Yeah, yeah. Ben as ex officio doesn't have to be motioned, but
Right.
I do have to be motioned into.
All right. All right. So, can I get a motion to move into the in-camera session along with, sorry, Sarah, what's your position? The program volunteer?
And volunteer operations.
All right, along with the volunteer operations. Are you the vice president or the AVP? Vice president? Okay, the vice president of volunteer operations, and then along with DPRA Muller. Can I get a motion for that? Motion by Director St. George, seconded by Director Russolo. Is there any discussion on the matter? All right, move into voting. All those opposed? All those abstaining? And all those in favor? Vote passes 0-0 to 9. I think there's still 9 of us. All right, so I'll see you guys in